Somebody is owed $100 trillion. We know the money exists. We know it gets paid every single year on time by almost every government on Earth. And nobody can tell you who is collecting it. Ask who owns the national debt, and you get a shrug or a vague gesture at China or a joke about Mars. So let us do this properly. $100 trillion. One missing creditor. And a trail that has been sitting in plain sight the whole time. First rule of this investigation: money does not vanish. Debt is not cash that got destroyed. It is a claim, and every single liability is somebody else's asset, exactly, to the cent. When a government borrows, it does not incinerate the money. It hands over a bond and spends the cash straight into the economy, where it turns into wages, pensions, contracts, and deposits. So our creditor definitely exists and is definitely holding something. This trail cannot go cold. Suspect 1, and it is the one everybody reaches for: foreign powers. It is also wrong. Foreign holders own 23.9% of American federal debt, down from 34% a decade ago. And in Japan, the country carrying the heaviest debt load on Earth, foreigners hold under 13%. Our creditor is not abroad. Our creditor is inside the house. So look inside the house. Japanese government debt. The central bank holds 42%. Domestic banks, 17%. Insurers and pension funds, 17%. Which leads somewhere faintly absurd. Japan Post Bank holds about 180 trillion yen of ordinary savings across roughly 120 million accounts in a country of 123 million people. That is very nearly everybody. And a large share of it is lent straight back to the state. There is your missing creditor. It is a post office. The people who lent the money do not know that they lent it. They came in to buy stamps. And yet, this case refuses to close. The bot is already reaching for the subscribe button, and the duck has seen this trick before. Join them. Because a normal debt ends, households pay them off. Governments almost never do. When a bond matures, the state issues a new one, pays the old holder with the proceeds, and carries on. No retirement date, no final payslip, no moment where the balance has to reach zero. Britain rolled over debt from the Napoleonic Wars for more than a century. So, the headline total, the giant frightening number on the poster, is close to meaningless by itself. A 10 million euro mortgage is catastrophic for a nurse and trivial for a shipping company. Size only means something next to income, which is why the ratio anyone serious uses is debt against the size of the economy. American federal debt held by the public, around 101% of annual output. Except that ratio is not the number to watch either. Debt does not bite because it is large. It bites when it becomes expensive. So follow the money that actually moves. In the 2025 financial year, American net interest cost $971 billion, 3.2% of the entire economy. A record. It is now the second largest line in the federal budget. Bigger than defense, bigger than Medicare, beaten only by Social Security. And the Congressional Budget Office projects $2.1 trillion by 2036, 4.6% of output. Nobody voted for that. It gets paid before anything else does, because the alternative is default. Crowding out is the polite name for what happens next. Every unit of interest is one that was going to be a hospital, a railway, a teacher. Japan is living it right now. Its debt servicing bill this financial year is 32.4 trillion yen, up 15% in 12 months, roughly a quarter of the entire national budget, on an assumed interest rate of 2.6%, the highest in 17 years. That assumption rose because Japanese bond yields did. 10-year yields hit 2.9% in August, the highest since 1996, which takes us back to the post office. When yields rise, old bonds lose value. Japan, Postbank is sitting on 4.94 trillion yen of unrealized losses. Our creditor is underwater. Now the case for the defense made properly, because the debt panic industry is enormous, and it is frequently wrong. First, a government borrowing in a currency it issues cannot be forced into default the way a household can. It always has a way to pay in nominal terms, whatever that costs. Second, these ratios have been screamed about for 40 years. Japan crossed 100% in the 1990s and has had neither the currency collapse nor the inflation spiral predicted almost every year since. Third, borrowing to build something that raises future output shrinks the ratio instead of growing it. Growth is the denominator. The strongest version of this argument is not that debt is free. It is that the level is the wrong alarm and the interest bill is the right one. Which brings us to the real problem with having found our creditor. Nothing keeps them in the room. A pension fund can buy something else tomorrow morning. A bank can decide the yield is not worth it. Nobody has to announce a crisis. Nobody slams the door. They simply stop turning up at the auction. The government offers more interest to bring them back. The interest bill grows, and the thing everybody was calm about stops looking calm. National debt is not really a mathematics problem. It is a confidence problem wearing a spreadsheet as a disguise. And confidence appears in no ledger anywhere, which is why a post office counter matters more than the number on the poster. So, case closed, but not the way anybody expected. There is no villain. There is no vault. The money never went anywhere. It went to somebody, and that somebody is very probably you, through a pension or a savings account you have never once opened, which is not automatically doom either. Confidence has a steering wheel. Countries that keep their interest bill under their growth rate carry enormous debts for decades. And the ones that end up in real trouble almost always got there through a sudden collapse in trust, not a slow climb in a ratio. It is fixable, and it is fixable early, which is more than can be said for most problems this size. So, one question, 5 words maximum. If your country's interest bill were yours for a single year, where would you send it?